With the power of Esperat, I've sent these abominable goblins to their graves.
Nainti Nain Naitsu, or N3, is Q Entertainment's card into the hack-and-slash realm popularized by games like Koei's Dynasty Warriors. It offers some impressive cinematics and intimidating hordes of on-screen enemies, but is this enough to quench the thirst of dry-mouthed button mashers? The story is told in a fragmented full-motion video at the start, but is never really touched on within the game. From what we understand, there's an evil horned guy called the King of 99 Nights that breaks an oddly shaped crystal into two pieces, one light and one dark. Each of these bestows powers to the players you eventually control. These new powers create a disturbance to the peace that exists between goblins and humans. So basically, you control the person that brings about the genocide of your opposing race to the satisfaction of a mystically horned observer. The rest is rather typical and uninteresting. There are a ton of characters to choose from, and their stories will converge at multiple points, but it's never done in a very impressive manner. If you had choices to make in the game that would ultimately impact the story, it would be one thing, but random events will happen that flee from one character's story just to support the new ones. It's nice to play out both sides of the conflict, but no single character's story gets very deep, and the fact that they all have lousy voice acting doesn't help.
All right! Victory will be ours!
Combat has 5 primary buttons. X does a normal attack, Y does a power attack, B an orb attack, A jumps, and the right trigger evades. The bumpers command your 2 battalions that are chosen before each fight, but the commands are fairly useless. The one thing your battalions are good at is distracting the enemy long enough for you to kill them. There's also a block button, but it never becomes necessary. Each character has a different set of attacks, and each wields a different type of weapon that moves differently and feels unique. This separates them and creates an allure of variety, but after playing them through one mission, you'll find their most useful combos are the ones you'll use most of the time. This is because they're the best at clearing out enemies. Killing soldiers will give you red orbs that raise your red orb meter, and once it's full, you can pull off an orb attack. Killing enemies with your orb attack gives you blue orbs, and once that's full, you can pull off an orb spark maneuver, which generally kills everything within range. These moves vary things up a bit, but they don't change the fact that you could still beat the entire game with only having pressed the X button. To break up the monotony, there are random item drops that increase or decrease your defense or hit points. After obtaining a new level, you'll learn new skills, or rather new button mashes. The items and weapons help beef up your character, but don't add much depth to a game that already feels hollow.
They were civilians. They were fleeing. They had no intention of fighting. But you...
What are you implying? Their intentions are irrelevant.
You can't mean that.
Of course I mean it.
99 Nights starts with only one playable fighter unlocked, making it hard to push on for the sole purpose of getting new characters. Once you've selected a character, you're stuck within their missions menu. It would have been better if you could move in and out of your characters without having to load a save when you quit out of their mission screen. The boss battles in 99 Nights are terribly uninventive. Enemies can block attacks with their backs to you, and the more you attack them, the more their blocks will spin them around to face you. If bosses catch you in a combo or attack, they'll almost always take half to all of your health. With very long missions that have no mid-level save points, this can turn things from frustrating to infuriating to downright flawed. Not to mention bosses can break through or escape any combo, but you can't attack them when they're swinging, even if you're behind them. Because of this, boss battles become more of a cat and mouse game, where you wait for your companions to draw them off you, then wait for the boss's animation to finish, and with that small open window, attack. The real achievement in this title is the draw distance, and the number of enemies that can be on screen at once. There's nothing like seeing a great mass of soldiers billow from a mountainside, only to charge and find each and every one of them waiting to be slain. You can view your targets on the radar map in the upper right corner, but in darker areas, it can almost disappear. The full motion videos are elaborate and impressive. The in-game graphics are also spectacular, but sometimes distracting glitches will make parts of the model vibrate all over the place. The game's typically stable frame rate will stall when the action gets too intense, but it's very rare and not all that troublesome. There's also an annoying blur effect that's apparently used to achieve depth of field, but it's not implemented effectively. 99 Nights amped up everything it could within the hacking and slashing genre, without bothering to innovate anything in the process. It has almost as many flaws as there are knights in the title, but if you love mindless button hammering gameplay and salivate over the on-screen enemy count, then this might be a title that interests you. Just be sure to rent it before you decide to add it to your 360 collection.
You fought well. It's over now. It's all over.